Hi guys! So Jason is off rubbing elbows with his work peeps this week, so I thought this was the perfect opportunity to dive into the amazing world of full-time RV living with our furry family members. So whether or not you're dreaming of hitting the road with your pup, considering maybe getting a fluffy companion of your own, or already living this nomad lifestyle with your four-legged friends, you are in the right place. So grab your leashes. Today's video is going to be all about RV living full-time with your dogs. All right, so first things first, I guess if you haven't quite made it out on the open road yet, you are going to want to consider the space in the type of rig that you are going to purchase. So when we started out, we chose Class C RV, and we didn't necessarily take into the consideration our two 85-pound German Shepherds, that we were going to have to walk over them, and if they're going to be on our chairs, and just the amount of space it takes for them to lay down and be comfortable, as well as ourselves. We knew that we were going to have to make it work, and we have been very successful in that. But in addition to them, as well as however many people are in your rig, you also have to consider the storage for a food container. And we have like a bin, pretty big bin, of their babies, aka toys, that they play with frequently. And they also have dog beds, which we conveniently store on our bed until the evening when we put that down and they are able to be comfortable on the floor. So there's quite a bit to consider as far as space, and you guys might have way more than 200 square feet like we do, but we make it work and we love it, and we are very happy with our rig selection. So, but that is one of the things that you need to consider if you're in those beginning stages. All right, so now we want to move into campgrounds and their rules and regulations regarding animals. So there are some campgrounds that don't allow animals at all, but the majority that we have found absolutely allow pets. I think there's so many of us that travel with their four-legged companions that it's in their best interest to allow fur babies to be at their RV parks. However, I do a little bit more investigating, as there are a lot of breeds, not a lot, but there are some breeds, to include German Shepherds, that are deemed aggressive, and some RV parks just don't allow them. And I'm not gonna, it's neither here nor there, it's just something that we have encountered, and having German Shepherds, that's something that we look for. So also, you need to see if you can leave your fur babies inside your rig when you do errands. Some RV parks state that you have to take your fur baby with you, that you cannot leave them unattended inside your rig or outside your rig for whatever reason, that you have to take them with you. So that's something else to consider, because we run errands, to the grocery, even go hiking, exploring the area, and frankly, we leave ours for up to several hours at a time, and they're fine with that. They're middle-aged, they're used to being alone, so ours can handle that. Yours might not be able to. And we make sure that we dampen the noise that they can hear outside of the rig. So we leave a fan on, the air conditioning on, something to drown out the sounds from outside. We leave music on, the TV, and we make sure that whatever we can do to maybe hinder their opportunity to bark or be a nuisance to other people, that we do so. Let's see, what else do we need to cover? Oh, I don't know if I should get on this topic because I get a little upset about it. One of the requirements when you're at these RV parks that allow animals is that you pick up your dog's poop. We call it OPP in this household. Get out with OPP, yeah, you know me. Other pets' poop, and I can't tell you how many other pets' poop that I have picked up in my lifetime. I don't understand what it is that some people feel it's not their responsibility to pick up after their own dog. Totally unacceptable behavior. Okay, deep breath. Let's move on. So just make sure you pick up your own dog's waste. As far as safety concerns go, the biggest that I can think of, besides if you got a puppy and they're chewing, you want to make sure that they're safe from all the stuff that they can potentially chew up. But the biggest thing that I can think of is a temperature monitoring system, something that can determine the temperature inside your rig. Because frankly, it gets warm just like it does in a car, and even on not so hot days, it can be roasting inside your rig. So some way to monitor the temperature would be the best for your fur babies. And there are several products out there. All it takes is a simple Google search and you can determine what fits your budget. And I think there's even like a subscription service that you can have that will, report back to your smartphone or whatever to make sure that it's within the range that you feel comfortable with. Now I think we need to get into probably the biggest concern I had when we were going to embark on this adventure. I worried about the health care for our fur babies, whether or not we were going to be able to find veterinarians that had availability if we needed to in an emergency situation. So every time we travel, I will go on the internet and do a Google search of the area we're going to see what the emergency room vet clinics there are in the area. I will do that with whatever state we are traveling in, just in case. Now, our Rosie girl had cancer that we found out when we got to Florida last year, and so we had some appointments down there. I was able to call around to the different veterinary clinics that were accepting new patients and had our records from up in the Wisconsin area transferred down to Florida, and I found a wonderful vet that was able to extend her life by keeping her comfortable and the quality of life up to the rate that she would be able to thrive for several more months with us. And they made sure that when we left Florida that we were set up to continue that care. Now, unfortunately, in June of this year, we had to make the toughest decision to have Rosie cross the Rainbow Bridge, and that's not something that any pet owner wants to have to consider, let alone do. but we did it because her quality of health just was not conducive to being comfortable anymore. She was in pain and she was struggling, and we wanted to make the transition as easy as possible for her. So we called around and explained our situation numerous times, and that's maybe what it's going to take to find a vet that will be able to accommodate the end of life if need be. So I'm not saying that every vet is going to be available, and sometimes I think we called maybe 5 or 6 different places when it got to that point, because we knew that even making the couple day trek back to her home vet wasn't going to be possible. So be persistent. Make sure that you know the vets in the area and read the reviews. I mean, you want something, a vet clinic to be, compassionate during those times. So that is the biggest thing I feared going out on the road. Now, we still have our Loki boy with us, and he's adjusting to being a single dog, and we're adjusting to a single dog household as well. But let's get back to the concerns that you want to consider when you're regarding your health of your pets. You always want to have the list of the vaccinations, your current vaccinations, with you at all times. Make sure that you have a pet ID tag with your telephone number in case something happens and they get out. Also, a microchip. I'm not sure how y'all feel about that, but I believe in microchips, that if they can scan them and find out who their owners are, that is a big thing. That all has to do with the health of your animal and things to consider when you're full-time living and going from place to place. So I think that's about it as far as health records and things you need out on the road. Oh, another good thing, before I forget, is to have some sort of sticker or indicator near your door on the outside of your rig to indicate that you have pets. In case something happens, you're not home, they know that they need to get your pet out. I think that just about covers it. There's quite a bit to consider when you are traveling full time with your furry companions, but let me tell you, there's nothing like it, and it is so worth it. So if you can think of anything that I missed, please leave us a comment below, and please remember to like and subscribe and ring that bell so you can get the notifications when we drop a new video. And as always, until next time, we'll see you between mile markers.